Welcome, welcome. Oh, I just realized it did not go live the first time. So thankful for that. We'll do a restart. All right, let's bring Brandon in. Brandon, I was talking to myself. For some reason,
Word.
I did the live button and I thought, well, it's keep saying it's scheduled, but I went live. So who knows? How's it going this morning?
Going good. How you doing, sweetie?
Good.
So you got
Doing
your
well.
coffee.
I have my coffee. Yep.
Good
Ran out of
morning.
time. I wanted to get something to go with the coffee, but I ran out of time. So the coffee will have to work for now.
No
So,
donuts this morning, huh?
yeah. All right. Let's get rolling here. How about our YouTube people say good morning as we
Good
just kind of
morning.
talk it through, Ben, and waiting for people to jump in. You know, it is Saturday, so they're probably hugging that bed a little bit tighter this morning. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I
with
can't
me,
blame.
Brand?
I can't blame
Okay.
them.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just
Okay.
fine. I can hear you just fine.
Yeah.
Yep. Welcome everybody to the End of
Okay.
Season
All right.
podcast. As you come in, let us know where you are from and who you are and why you are here. If you're new, who invited you? I'm looking for some new people, and the people that are everydays. Let's invite more people. Let's get more people to this conversation, more people to this show. How was yesterday's
Let's
show?
do it. Let's do it. It was good. You would have been so my Big Mike is in. He says, good morning, Miss Brenda, good everything, everybody. Mike says, I've been up since 5 a.m. Energy, energy, energy. Y'all, Mike is settling in this thing like in another way. I'm so proud of him. Um, I was going to post something yesterday and I kind of ran out of time, but at the same time, I want to give my brother a shout out. My brother poured some things into me a few days ago. He blessed me with his words. Um, every big sister, every little sister needs that, loves that. I encourage that. So he did. We had a really good conversation, y'all. Talk these things through and out. Like so many relationships are without that connection, right? That is truly needed. We're all one conversation away from our breakthrough with ourselves, with the people that we say we love, right? If you love somebody, talk to somebody. Talk to that somebody. You got some things going on, sit down and have an honest, open conversation. If you cannot do this with the people that you say you love and they love you, then let's check the love. Hey, take out the thermostat or something. Check the love. And let me say this, you cannot love unless you first love yourself. So let's stop playing with these words. You are constipated with words that need to be said. And I'll say this, that we all have our needs, but we only, truth be told, you guys, think about this. We only need a little bit of what we need from the people that we need it from. And those people will change in seasons, in circumstances and situations. Let's stop thinking that because you're my brother, my sister, my son, that you won't come up against some conflict. Because being my brother, my sister, and this wasn't the kind of call we had. This was a very uplifting. My brother spoke just thankfulness for me, right? For who I am, what I'm doing, right? And it was just a blessing.
Mm.
He told me how thankful he is. And I hope it's okay to share this, big brother. But we talked about life is it time to open up because we've been through some hard times together and it left its mark on us. So, how dare we not communicate about it, about how it affected us? At some points, how our very own internalizing of it that we had nothing to do with, it affected us, like how we responded to one another, knowing that man, there was a time that we were all each other had, right? So have the conversations, y'all, between what is said and not meant and what is meant but not said. Relationships are lost. So we're losing relationships that were created to help us. in this world. Because we get in our feelings, we may say and do something that we did not mean to say. Someone may perceive something that we've said or did, and they don't understand because you've not had a chance to say, that's what you thought? It's not what I was saying. When I did that, I wasn't thinking about you. That was something totally, people don't know. And their perception is from their own interpretation of life, their own eyes, ears, how they are experiencing what they have experienced. And most times, y'all, what we feel is about us, is done to us, has nothing to do about us. So it's just a good time, Brandon, to be where we are. And I'm thankful that God has allowed you to be right here beside me every morning, that you can be. Y'all was so cute. I'm turning it over so we can get started, Brandon. Brandon texted me and said, Mom, can I take the day off? I'm not feeling well. And I thought, how cute. Can he take the day off? How cute.
You something else. So thank you,
So
Mom.
being the employer that I am, yeah, we support mental days here. You sick, stay home. Don't come here.
I appreciate it. I
Right?
really appreciate it.
But
Yeah.
y'all
So
just
much for the
communicate.
great, because I really needed that day. I had a lot going on with myself,
Right. We all need them.
you know. So thank you. Appreciate that. Can you hear me okay on it? It was a little choppy on me a little bit. Um, but can you hear me fine?
I can hear you fine.
Cool,
So
cool,
far.
cool. Well, I sent you the Instagram key. If you're available to put that up for me.
Oh man, our Instagram people missed it.
Yeah, they missed that good session. It's okay. They'll catch the meat. They missed the
Right.
catch the meat of it.
Hopefully some of them went over to YouTube, which is, which is where
Preferable.
we asked them to go. So let's get this started. For you new people, we cannot do the Instagram till we actually end this thing. So here we go. We're gonna bring our family from the Instagram over, and Brandon, you should be receiving what you need to make it happen.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. As soon as that pops up, we will start with the show. Let's see.
Let's hope it didn't. Y'all drop some comments as you wait
There we go.
as to what this is doing for you. It could be a one liner. Let the people that are new to the barbecue know what kind of food you've been eating and bringing and taking away, and how it's helping you. Let's do that more, as we build this community of like-minded people. Welcome Instagram again. Welcome YouTube, and for sure all of those from Facebook as well.
Awesome. Well, thank y'all for joining us. This is day 164 of the In This Season podcast as we read through Daily Motivations for African American Success by Kimbro. We read Daily Motivations for African American Success every single day, a passage, a quote, an inspiration at the end. We break it down, give you our thoughts, our insights. We ask you to comment and share yours, and we get through this together. So thank you for joining us. If this is your first time, or if you've been here for a long time, we hope that you have a good time. So this is the book. If you guys can pick that up, High Value, Low Cost. High Value, Low Cost. This book will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead to the achievement of your true goals. And 365 short, powerful motivations, one for each day of the year. Dennis Kimbro, the author of the popular Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. Each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Edelman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year, but what it teaches will last you a lifetime. What it teaches will last you a lifetime. So, again, thank y'all for joining us, and let's get one of those lifetime lessons. So, today is the 13th of July.
One
I
more
try,
sip, huh?
huh? Yeah, one
One
more
more
step.
sip.
Because I have to read, so my coffee ends up getting colder. So I'll be like trying
Right.
to get it while it's warm.
I have to get
But,
you one of those warmers that will you plug up and you can sit your coffee on it.
oh yeah,
A
I need
cup.
that.
Yeah.
You got all the gadgets.
Huh?
So you got all the gadgets, mama.
I do. I'm a gadget girl, y'all. I love little gadgets that I don't know.
Yeah.
Gadget
So
girl. I
yeah,
am. I have all kind of little gadgets that I like things that are just kind of odd and in between.
right. That's funny. Well, today's passage is titled "The Day Your Life Turned Around." The day your life turned around. And Tina Turner, the singer, the icon, Tina Turner, uh, gives us our quote today. She said, "Most of us measure our success by what others haven't done." That's powerful. Most of us measure our success by what others haven't done. And the passage goes as follows: Decide once and for all that you will be the best you can be in whatever you set out to do. George Johnson, founder of Johnson Products and one of Black America's wealthiest individuals, once offered these comments to a local business group: Be the best that you can be. Have faith in yourself. Be a person of worth and know it. Believe in yourself. Hold in your consciousness a vision of the life you desire. Move through each day with a vision of yourself as strong, yet loving, flexible, yet in charge. Act as though failing was impossible. Within you are limitless possibilities waiting for birth. Go ahead, give life to them. Choose to see yourself as well as mankind as the creative expression of a loving God. The book of Genesis says the Creator, the sovereign of the universe, breathed into the nostrils and gave us life. In other words, each of us contains a part of the divine. Only when we are committed to excellence can we begin to measure up to all that we were created to be. Only when we see mankind as the product of a supreme being can we explain those thousands of daily strivings that urge us to live up to the best within us. If you want the kind of happiness and deep personal satisfaction out of life that no one can destroy, search until you find what you do best. Consider who you are. You were born for greatness. And our affirmation um, and inspiration at the end of the passage that we read 3 times, one time for you, one time for me, and one time for the person that you're going to invite to the next podcast is: make a strong commitment to reach your full potential. Today, make a strong commitment to reach your full potential. And last time, make a strong commitment to reach your full potential.
Hmm.
What you got for me, Mama, about this passage and
Brandon,
about this affirmation? Hmm?
I'd like to ask you to start, but only one place if you're not cool with starting the whole thing off, because you said that's interesting. Most of us measure our success by what others haven't done. I'm having some issues getting that one because I
Yeah.
would believe a little bit. Yeah, and you said that's deep, so take me into the deep waters.
Well, I hadn't thought about it like that. Like for example, people want to beat world records because no one's done it, right? Like no one's ever run an 8 second 100-meter dash, right? So I want to do it because no one's done it. Right? No
Right.
one's no one's been like when the first black president, right? There are people that had dreams of maybe one day I'll be the first black president, right? And so when someone did it, it's like, oh wow, that's a great achievement, right? Considering where the station of African Americans and how we came to this country. Now he was African American in a different kind of way. His dad was actually African, so a little bit different in the context, right? His mother was white, but symbolically, that was a wow. He's an African American became president, or even inventions. Something hasn't been invented yet, right? So these are the things that stand out. Everyone wants to be the
Okay.
right. So a lot of times we judge by what others haven't done. Because imagine if we judged by what people did do, then it would take it. We would be more looking to examples, right? Like, oh, this person did this. Oh,
See, I'm on that side of it. That's
right,
that's that's the side that I'm on. Because I was like, and maybe because we're defining a different people. Like, because when I read it, I'm like, that's kind of interesting because I feel like we often measure our success on what people in our circle or the people that we see have done or are doing, and that we kind of get distracted because our eyes are on them and what they have, what they've accomplished, what we deem as successful, per se, in this world today. And so I thought, that's kind of interesting, but didn't have enough time to kind of dig into it, because again, I think I'm looking at a different group of people. Because
right,
what you spoke about, that's for people who want to break records. To me, that's different. For just this book, I think we're talking to a people who are looking outwardly and assessing their life based on what others are doing and not or have done, and that's how they measure their success. And then you end up trying to build up to a point of that success missing the mark, like because your eyes are off off the sparrow, so to speak. Your eyes are off of yourself and onto someone else and what they're doing. So okay, I get that part, what you're
you know
saying.
what I'm saying? Like even like no one made it out of my neighborhood and became this, right? Right? Or like any who made it to the UFC out of Memphis, right? Or who out of my high school gets to go to Harvard. Nobody's done this. Nobody's done that. So a lot of times we measure based on what others haven't done.
Hmm.
Being a
Hmm.
standout, being exemplary. You know,
Hmm.
and I can see that a lot of, especially, I would say, especially men. Like we're like, oh, okay, new uncharted territory.
Hmm.
First
on
you
the
do.
flip on the
Mhm.
flip side of that, can you see that, like what you mentioned about no one has made it out of this um,
Or even I'm
community,
college
right?
out, right, or something like that.
Right. So like there's a lot of young people, especially, and older too, that because no one else, they think because there's someone that has made it out. And I don't like that term made it out, because why are we running from it, right? But for the sake of the conversation today, there are some, and I've had some people tell me this directly, and it's been young men that who am I to think I'm going to get out of here? Nobody else has, you know? And so they take on the mindset, no one else has. Why would I? Who am I to be so special? And that's where it comes down to what we're talking about today. You
Mhm.
have to think that you are the best version of what God created, if there's such a thing. Like, you have to think so highly of yourself, and not a way that it's about you, but it's about God who created you and what he planted in you. And you guys, I'm going to tell you this. When you get into this place where you are talking about life in a way that we should expect life to be, meaning that it is not a perfect life for sure, but it is a life where you have surrendered enough to feel like you are led by the very presence of God, right? That you have sought out, you have knocked on that door enough, because it's seek, and you shall find, right? Knock and the doors shall open. Is that we don't have the faith to seek and believe that we will find. We don't have the faith to knock and believe. Sometimes we don't have the faith to go up to the door. And it's not just the faith. You don't know who you are. And this tells us, right? Vision of the life you desire. When's the last time you thought about your desires for your life? And then you went before God in belief that it will happen. My brother and I were talking a few days before this other conversation started, and I was like, we got to start thinking big because we are those ones, we don't need a lot, we don't want a lot, right? And I said, you know what? I'm changing this thing around. I do want $1 million. God, I do want those $1 million. I want to
Hey,
buy somebody a house, a single man, a single mother,
that's what it's
right?
about.
I want to send somebody to college who wants to go. I want the young man who feels he can't get out to say, first of all, son, why are you trying to get out? Get into you. May not want to go to college. Okay. What kind of business do you want to start? So, yeah, I want the $1 million. I want the $1 billion. But my cup will runneth over more. And see, first I had to prove to God, I'm just gonna say me, if you guys feel like you don't have to, that I could handle what he gave me, what he's given me now. And by handle, can I bless people with what you are giving me now and trust you to provide for me? And that takes discernment, you guys. I'm not saying just go give, 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 give. Because some people are takers, 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 takers. But to get back to this, decide once and for all that you will be the best you can be in whatever you set out to do, right? You have to. And then there's a part here that talks about excellence. Only when we are committed to excellence can we begin to measure up to all that we're created to be. You guys, this, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Brandon. This hits home for me. I've come to the point where I will get mad at myself because I have to do what I don't want to do. I have to do what I don't want to do. And it's the little things that nobody sees because I'm thinking about the next person that comes behind me, right? It used to be easy to do some things. And this started so long ago. I told the story about the I had bought something from Walmart. And so I'm saying this to say, y'all, it didn't happen overnight for me. And it ain't going, the next phase of where I'm going is not going to happen overnight for me. But I tell you what I've learned. I've learned that I was created by a big God for big things. And they're my big things. Nobody else's. It's my chicken. And I'll use the chicken, or it's my drugstore. Because I talk about there's a chicken place on it. There's a different chicken place on every corner. It's my hamburger. There's a different burger place on every corner. There's a different drugstore on every corner. And imagine, and let's don't forget they have gas stations that now sell some of the same things that the big stores and the restaurants sell. But they're doing their thing. They're thriving. Because Burger King know that it built itself or this business based off Burger King's model. They're not trying to do what McDonald's is doing, right? So it's one thing that I do have finally accepted that I was created with purpose, for purpose, by a big God who tells me, your prayers are so little. Can you ask for something big, Tammy? You asking for a first parking space, a pen? Really? These are things that I'll just give you along the way. Can you ask me for something big? And when you ask, do you believe? And it doesn't mean it have to happen tomorrow. But this comes back, you guys, to the day you turn your life around. And that means when you understand that you are great beyond measures. You are great. Your fruit is hanging from your tree. Your fruit, not anybody else's. Your fruit. So it doesn't matter what they've done, what they're doing, what they're going to do. Do you. They say, do you, boo? And sometimes when people say that, they kind of feel some kind of way because you're not doing them. But do you?
Yeah.
So over to you, Brandon.
Thank you, Mom. I appreciate that. Great additions. I don't have much. I mean, I think this is pretty cut and dry to like choose to see yourself as well as mankind. That's one thing that stuck out to me. Choose to see yourself as well as mankind as the creative expression of a
Mm,
God.
amen.
And I think one of the things that inspired me in my youth was finding out, and I say this often, that you are the genetically, you're 99.99, maybe another nine is in there, percent, 99.99% the same genetically as a chimpanzee, right? So how much difference could there really be between you and the person that is more successful than you?
Mm.
If you got that much in common genetically as a chimpanzee, that's such a small amount of difference between I think there's 3.5 billion genes that you have inside of you. So 1% of that, less than 1% of that, is what makes all of the differences that you see in eyes, color, teeth, shape, hair, stature. All of that is less than 1% of the difference in our gene, in our gene codes. That's the difference. It's less than 1%. Less, a lot less than 1 point, less than 0.1%. So what I'm saying is whoever is the person you look up to, or any success that you've seen in someone else, you have that same potential. And that's why I thought it was powerful to see, because sometimes it's easy to be egotistical, right?
Hmm.
In order to get what you want. Like you think about people, and I'm not saying anything about this brother, um, but Puff Diddy, right? I remember seeing him on Making the Band years ago. There was a show that he had called Making the Band, and there was a scene where he was just like, I'm gonna get whatever I want. If I want it to happen, I'm gonna make it happen. He was like kind of going on a tirade in his own office, kind of throwing stuff in his own. No one's really there but him, and he's just like almost becoming a monster to motivate himself, right?
Mm.
And it was a very exclusive thing. It was very like, I am going to do this because I have this. Like he was making his intention to do it. And I've had similar situations where I've been the youngest, the least experienced, the only man of color in a room full of multimillionaires, billionaires, owners of these huge architecture companies or apartment complexes, publicly traded companies, and I have to have the confidence, the wherewithal to tell these people what has to happen to be to be leading that board of people on development and housing, making affordable housing in Memphis. And there's almost an arrogance that you have to have, right? That you think you have to have in order to exist in these
Mm.
spaces, right? Like I remember thinking to myself, I have to become a monster.
Mm.
I have to become like this grandeur of myself. I have to like because it's very easy to be in the same room with these people, and when they say something, you're like, oh, well, you got $1 billion, so I might, yeah, whatever you say goes. You know what I mean? It's easy
Mhm.
to be like that, and it's also easy for them to feel that way, right? To feel like when they say something, they move their weight around a little bit more. But when your yes means yes and your no means no, it doesn't matter. You're all flesh and bone.
That's right.
So I was able to speak with a type of certainty, with a certain surety, that without all of this acumen to back it up, right? It doesn't make it any less true, right? But in order to get myself in the mind frame and have the confidence to even say it, I almost had to hype myself up, like the way a coach would before his team goes out. Y'all are gonna go out here and you're gonna knock them dead. You're gonna go out here, you're gonna run 1 billion yards. You're gonna pass and rush, you know, 10,000 yards today, right? So, and there's a little bit of puff in that, no pun intended, in reference to puff. But I noticed that in the situation, I remember thinking this on Making the Band, that was very centered on him. right? Like I am better than this. I am, and to me, I even though he had success, and knowing in my own accounts, that type of sentiment will give you great success, but it will also create a gap within you, right? Of arrogance, where you think that you are so different from everyone else. You begin to believe your own stuff, like in a different kind of way. Like you can't just leave it there at the board table. You take it home, you take it here, you take it there. And what really helped me do it was remembering that I'm 99% the same as a chimpanzee, and so is the human being next to me, and so is the next human being next to them. So the truth is, it's not that I have this unlimited potential. I choose to see myself as well as all of mankind is the creative expression of a loving God. So it's not just me that can achieve these incredible things, but it's the human being next to me that can do the same thing, has the same potential. You know, the person that I might look down upon or feel some type of way about has the same potentialities as I do. And likewise, no matter how high people climb, I have the same potential that they do. And so I think looking at it in that reflexive way and not just aggregating it all on yourself is a good way to look at it. I'm not saying don't commit yourself to greatness and don't be great and to not believe in yourself. But I think in doing that, be careful not to elevate yourself beyond what a human being is. Right? Sometimes we attribute to ourselves these godlike qualities in order to make it through. For example, sometimes people in poverty put on a whole lot of fresh clothes and fancy clothes to compensate and make themselves feel more confident. Sometimes the most insecure people seem to be the most confident. You see what I'm saying? Because they're using that in order to push through or to make it through as an adaptation for whatever they're going through to be successful, to attain whatever goal that they have. What I'm saying is don't confuse this for that. Don't confuse decide once and for all that you will be the best that you can be in whatever you set out to do. I'm saying don't confuse that with I'm better than everyone else inherently for immaterial things, right? So I think there's balance to it. So I agree 100% with what this is saying. I'm just saying make sure that that line where it says choose to see yourself as well as mankind as the creative expression of a loving God, I think it's the most important line in that entire passage. And if you want the kind of happiness and deep personal satisfaction out of life that no one can destroy, search until you find what you do best. Consider who you are. You were born for greatness. Not just you, but there is a pocket of greatness that is just for you. There's a decree from God that is just for you. So, in a world where you can be anything and anyone, why not be yourself? Right? And that when you are yourself, you give up and you're yourself authentically. You give space and room and inspiration for other people to do the same because they are just as unique, as divinely inspired as you are, divinely created as you are. Right? So that's really all I have. That within you are limitless possibilities waiting for birth. And when you see that, it's like that in la catch. Remember that, mom? I am
Hmm.
an
Yeah, you are my other me or something
you
like
are
that. You are my
other.
other me.
Mm-hmm.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. I like that is so powerful to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
so
it
the reason
doesn't, it should not matter. Like you brought up some questions for me, but I'm just going to pose the questions out there. Maybe you and I can talk about it offline. You were talking about like you had to kind of hype yourself up amongst, you felt like you had to become, I guess, them in a sense, maybe. I don't know.
no, I had a pep rally in the car before the meetings. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Because I guess I heard it differently. We had one the other day, don't believe the hype. And it was about, success. And one of the guys said, success is being in the White House at the, with the president phone rings. And he answers it, and it's for you. And I didn't take that as he thought he was bigger or better. He saw himself as just as important as the president, right?
Exactly.
In what he was doing. And you mentioned about climbing the ladder. Sometimes you have reached your the top of your ladder, and that is where you begin to perform. Someone else maybe need to go a little bit further than you. Someone else may have stopped under you. But as long as they have reached their mark, and they're doing what they love. It tells us to find what you love to do. Because some of us just do what we think we got to do to survive.
Mm-hmm.
What burns the fire in you, you guys? And then this one, and we'll go. Only when we are committed to excellence. I've said this one earlier because I feel like when someone commits themselves to excellence, people start to look at them funny because we're in a world where there are no consequences for your actions, right? Just people seem to do, even on in the workplace, especially in the workplace. How do so many people get to just to be so underneath their responsibilities of their work and expect a check, and nobody's getting checked? Well, I won't say nobody, some of them, right? No consequences. You have a responsibility to speak up,
Right.
period. So know that you are, man, the greatest of the great, because not because of you, but because of God. And live that. And be like the man said, I'm successful because I might be in there with the president phone ring. He said, oh, this is for you. You tell me God can't do that. My new phrase is, don't he do it? Right? Won't he do it?
Want me to do
Don't he
it?
do it? Didn't he do it? He did that one. He said, ask big. He told the wrong girl to ask big. But he also taught the right girl the meaning of asking big is not so that you could just go out and do these foolish things that put nothing extra in the world, but it is for your cup and your saucer to runneth over so that it meets a need for someone else. Period. So, y'all, your life will turn around when you know that your life was created for greatness by the great creator, right? When you know that, and then your search is for excellence, because we serve a perfect God, right? And
Mm-hmm.
everywhere you go, you are on an assignment. So paint the streets gold. If your job is cleaning the streets, dumping the garbage, housewife, do it with a sense of excellence. I'm honoring you, God. It's like my beautiful daughter in love. Brandon, I think about that so often. God, her prayer was, God, if it pleases you, make it easy for me.
Yeah.
Right? And if you seek him enough and pray for that thing and meditate, believe, trust, have faith, he will make it easy for you. Not a perfect life, not a perfect life. But who needs a perfect life when they got God in front of them, fighting for them, directing them, choosing them, chose them? Who needs a perfect life? Because a perfect life don't teach people. Don't teach people.
Y'all,
You know, we used to have to.
my wife is amazing, y'all. I just want to say that. My wife is
She's so beautiful.
she is absolutely amazing. You
Right.
know, I ain't lie to y'all. Like sometimes I'm like, Lord, I don't know, I don't know why you chose me, but I'm grateful for real. She is really an angel. You know what I mean? Like she's a beautiful human being. She deals
Yeah.
with my stuff, with my ups and downs, my traumas, my generational stuff. Like she really helps me work through it. Sometimes at the cost of herself. Sometimes at the cost of her time, her sleep, her she deals with the kids. She told me yesterday, she said this is a real thing where women say that she referred to me as her firstborn. I was like, man, come on, you know. So
Yeah. Brandon,
I
I don't know if you know, but I've sent her messages because I'll just think about it, that I really love the way you love Brandon and your family. You
yeah,
know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
it's
So
so selfless. It really is so
it
selfless.
is. Yeah.
I, I, she has a part of her that I like, that I could never like. It's just hers. You know, so many
Just hers.
just hers. Like I was telling her yesterday, like you can. when she walks into a room, it's different than when I walk into a room. It's different, you know. Like there's just something about like I kid you not, you can feel it
She's
when
listening, Brandon. She's on the
she is.
show. She said,
Um,
"Love y'all so much.
she you can
We
feel
love
it
you too."
if y'all. I'm serious, y'all. Like I'm not just saying this because this is my wife. When she walks into a room, you feel it. You feel it. I'm not saying she's perfect. I'm not saying she doesn't have her challenges, but I know a good woman, y'all. She is an amazing woman. She really is.
Mm,
She really is. I can count on my finger the amount of time on my hand, the amount of times that she has raised her voice at me. And even when she does, it's it's with so much poise and grace to where I'm like, I have to listen.
mm,
I'm like, so that when like her yes is a yes and her no is a no. When she's upset about something, she's usually right. You know what I mean? I tell my friends, I say, y'all, if something happened with us, it's me. Trust me, it ain't her, it's me. You know. So shout out to my wife for being so loving, understanding, for taking care of our children and taking care of her firstborn. Not taking anything away from you, mom, at all. I'm not
mm.
saying that, but
Oh
she
no, 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 no. That's there are times I say that's your husband. He is yours now. Don't that's your husband.
telling y'all, I'm a keep the word,
Pickle. He's a pickle.
man. I'm like, yeah, whatever,
It's a pickle.
But I love
We
you,
like
baby.
you though. We love the pickle. We love you.
Yeah, and but be that, guys. Be find your niche. Whether it's a house maker and you make a homemaker, I'll say, because a house is not a home if there's not love inside. Whether you're a homemaker, whether you're an
Mm,
engineer, whether you're a business owner, whatever it is, find what really drives you, what gives you fire and passion and purpose, and pursue that. Because God made you unique, and whatever He has for you is for you and you alone. There's nothing that anyone can do to take that away from you. If God wants it for you, what can the world do to keep it from coming to you? And if God doesn't want it for you, what can the world do to give it to you? So why not go back to God, the creator, for whatever that you need, for whatever provision you need, right? And believe in yourself. Don't pray these little prayers, y'all. Pray big prayers. Speaking to myself first. So I think that's all we got today, Mom.
that's all we got.
All we got. Let's go through the little synopsis today, July 13th, on the 164th day of the End of Season podcast. Our title was "The Day Your Life Turned Around," and our quote came from Roland herself, Tina Turner, the singer, who said, "Most of us measure our success by what others haven't done." And after a passage about committing to excellence and being the best that we can be and setting out a new vision for ourselves, we came to an affirmation. We came to a motivation, an inspirational statement that we read 3 times. Make a strong commitment to reach your full potential. Those are the marching orders for the day. Make a strong commitment to reach your full potential. And last time, think about what your potential is. Are there limitations to that? What's the apex, the pinnacle of that potential? Make a strong commitment to reach your full potential. Thank y'all so much for the show, Mom. If you don't have anything else,
Don't have
um,
anything else. Share this video and come
yeah,
back and see us tomorrow.
make sure you go to the YouTube channel. If you are on any other platform, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, please go to the YouTube channel and type in this season podcast. You can type in butterfly too. Sometimes that helps it pop up. But like, subscribe, and please turn on those notifications so that you're notified when we go live. We appreciate y'all. And
Brandon, I do want to say we got a new person. As far as I know, Al Sal. I just put you out there. Good morning. This is Trent's brother. So
oh,
y'all say hello. Yeah, Mr. Conversation with Trent. This is his brother. So good morning, Al. I don't know why I call you Al Sal. I don't know where did I get that from. Does Trent call you that? I don't know. I call him Big Al or Al Sal.
Big
See how we
Al.
just yeah. So good
Al, what,
morning.
Al, what do you want? Oh, you let us know. What should we call you? Should we go by your first?
Probably just
Yeah, you
Alvin, probably.
like.
I don't
Well,
know where I get that from. That's
appreciate you for
crazy.
dropping through
Yeah.
on this, man.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 7 a.m., same time, same place in the season podcast. Peace.
Peace.